that movie. Um, Michael was coming up with a book called Staunch Character, and he had bought the rights to use for one-time publication these photographs of Edith Bouvier Beale. That was it. Um, I don't know what all this bullshit is because Michael wouldn't write that. Michael wouldn't write that. That wouldn't be Michael. Michael knows that he had bought the rights to one publication for usage of his book. The other information on what Don posted was complete bullshit. Nobody was threatening HBO. Don, you really have it out for me, don't you? You really do. You can't change history. You could try to rewrite it, but it's not the way it goes. I could easily, just like you did with Nika, I could easily, and I'm not technically proficient in anything on here, I could easily write any kind of text and put somebody's icon on there and write anything I want and say it came from this person or that person. Very easily. It's been done so many times on YouTube. But anyway, for those just tuning in, Dawn supposedly got in touch with one of the writers for the HBO Grey Gardens. There was two Grey Gardens. This is the HBO production. And phony text. Totally fucking phony. I mean, I couldn't get a hold of Michael if I wanted to, okay? Because for a long time I've been wondering when his book was coming out, which was supposed to utilize, I don't know, up to possibly 8 photographs of mine. So, stalking Roseanne Barr. Did he say that? Roseanne Barr? Stalking? Man, Don, you come up with a lot of shit. Stalking. Why would I stalk Roseanne Barr? Oh, I met her once at a book signing event in Hilo, if you want to call that stalking. I gave her actually a copy of somebody that she actually appreciated, which was Edith Bouvier Beale. I gave a photograph to her. She was at a book signing ceremony in Hilo, Hawaii, Dawn, and her book was called Nuts on the Farm. Roseanne lived about, oh, I don't know, 50 miles up the coast from me in the Hamakua coast. Uh, Stalking Roseanne? I don't think so, Don. Man, you really come up with this shit, don't you? Stalking Roseanne Barr. Why would I want to do that? Roseanne Barr. I already met her briefly. I'm not in love with the woman. I have no reason to stalk her. In fact, oh, there's my dogs. Anyway, Don, you come up with some good ones here and there. I got to give you that. But, in regards to the Edith Beale stuff on there, and you said a lot of things in the past that the relatives were against me and blah, 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 and all this shit. Now, only thing I ever published about her relatives, by the way, was that they were greedy when it came to Edith Beale. They never bothered with her when she was alive, and when she died, they were marketing just about everything in the world you could think of that was either on a movie or things they made up or T-shirts that says Grey Gardens or you name it. They were marketing it. That's all I'm saying. Because I remember him. I think it was him that came up with that a long time ago. Don likes to turn the stories around on here. That's what he does. Yeah. Huh? I did meet her. No, I didn't go to Canada to meet her. I did meet her. She's not a friend of mine, no. Don't mind what Don says. Then what did he say that? I mean, I'm all the way in fucking, where is it, Hawaii or Seattle at the time? And I'm going to want to go to Toronto, Canada to do what? To do what? Production was going on that movie a long time before. Uh, I even, let's say, I produced my pictures back in what was it, the 80s? No, the movie came out, the HBO, what was that, around nine? I forgot the date of it. It's been such a long time ago. And I did put my pictures out on eBay. That's true. I did sell the one time publishing rights to the writer of the movie and who was doing a book called Staunch Character. That's true. That's true on that. But the other nonsense was bullshit. That was all total bullshit. And then stalking Roseanne Barr? Really? Where do you come up with that shit? I read what he wrote on there, and I should know, if anything, if that's bullshit or not. Why would I stalk Roseanne Barr, of all people? My name ain't Brevis, okay? I don't stalk any stars. I mean, I'm not really a star-struck type of person. I've met a few famous people. I'm not starstruck. I might admire some actors and so forth, but I'm not starstruck. Did I ever watch the Roseanne show? Absolutely. Loved it. Loved John Goodman. Loved all the characters on there. But stalking her? Never stalked Roseanne Barr. That's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And for what purpose? Point made. I could easily do what he did. He went on there to do some research on there and find out who's the directors, who's the writers, who's this and that. And he wrote some bullshit text on there. Yeah, that's all it was. As far as me and the writer, there was never any friction other than, hey, tell me when the book is going to come out. I'd like to get a copy of it. There was no animosity between me and the writer. He was going to use about eight of my photographs. He already paid for that. Done deal. That's all. And when I tried to contact him, it was to try to find out, well, you've been talking about for years, when is this book finally going to come out? Because I tried to look it up on the internet. I haven't seen it out in public eye at all. And if anything, I wrote him to question, where's the book? There you go. Oh, and you know that you've been there, Larry the Umpo. You know that Edith Beale didn't like me. Wow. ESP, or what is it, magic gift you have? Apparently you never see my letters from her. Okay. No, I got along fine with little Edie. Thank you very much. And if she didn't like me, believe me, she was a recluse. She would not have let me there to take pictures of her. That's number one. She did not allow just anybody to come over there and take photographs, especially after the time when her mother died. When I first came over with permission, she carefully was standing behind her screen door, feeling things out to find out who's that guy. I told her who it was. Okay. Then she came out. We sat on a chair. That's where it started off. Then she took me in the house. We had some pate for lunch. She showed me around the house, showed me around the property. Yeah. Oh, you're full of shit, Larry Leopold. You're full of shit. You're off here. You're fucking so full of shit. And Dawn is full of shit. I don't. Dawn has a problem with this Grey Gardens things. It's very simplistic. And that's bullshit. That's why I know Dawn is bullshitting, because the attire for Edith Beale, they could not find it. They could not find it. The original attire. Okay? And I gave permission to allow them to use my photographs to the costume designer to design an authentic looking outfit that Edith Beale wore for the movie. That's what happened. So he's full of shit. Don, you really are infatuated with me or obsessed or something, aren't you? You're trying to find so much fault with me. Look upon yourself and find your own fault. Yeah, I did contribute to the movie, period. I wasn't part of the actors cast in there, nothing. But yeah, I did contribute photographs that did, and I know for a fact, and I'll talk to Michael about this anytime he wants to email me. Yes, the mother's portrait that was utilized in my photographs was recreated by an artist because they did not have the original oil painting of Edith Bouvier, little Edie's mom, Edith. That's a fact. The attire is a fact. So that's all bullshit. That is all bullshit. Anyways, I got a 10 star coming. Okay, that's all I really have to say. Don, you are a piece of shit. You really are. You got some jealousy to me of something? Why? If you're so established and so forth, why are you jealous of everything I do? You don't want to recognize something as an accomplishment. You constantly put me down. It's obvious you don't like me, and it's the same. We share the same feelings, but don't lie about shit like this. I have no reason to lie about this. Yes, a writer is Michael for the HBO movie. That would be correct. That would be correct. And no, I've never been up to the set because that was in Toronto, Canada, and I was in, like, I don't know, Seattle at the time, a little bit distance away. Yes, I did contribute, or else I would not have had a credit on the IMBD. So, what's the question? What is the question? Yes, on the attire. Yes, on the portrait. You were back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Boy, oh boy. I couldn't get a ride back home here. I'm on here.
Yeah. Hoo, 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 hoo.
Anyway, Don is just, I'm on live here. Don is just spitting his web of lies. Michael can write me anytime he wants. He can write me anytime he wants if he actually really has contact with Michael. Come on, man. Seriously. Get a grip. Making up shit doesn't change history, Don. Making up shit does not. And then stalking Roseanne. That's even a better one. Stalking Roseanne Barr. I met her once at a book signing event in Hilo, Hawaii. Why would I be stalking her? What's your next story? Maybe I didn't catch up to all of it. What is your next story, Don? What's your next story? We got some sick fucking people on here. Yeah, Don C. Trump. Yeah, you might call it that. I don't make a big deal out of this movie. It wasn't like I was an actor in there. All I ever said on there was, yeah, my photographs did contribute to several different things. I wouldn't have an IMDb credit on that movie if I didn't make some kind of a goddamn contribution. Period. Not more to say. You know? How does he know if I ever fucking... How would Michael even know if I ever met Drew? I never said I met her on the set. Probably would know who the fuck I am, but I actually met her and was not on the set in Toronto. Sorry, I'm not looking at the... Oh, maybe Don will text Denzel. Denzel wasn't a friend of mine. It's another thing he likes to talk about, Denzel. Denzel went to an extension school for Mount Vernon High School. There was entirely another building. It was all an extension school of Mount Vernon High School, which he did go to Mount Vernon High School on the extensions. Then we also had A.B. Davis School, which was another junior high school. There you go. Anyway, Don likes to spin tall tales. Don, if you got this life together, you seem to get your shit together as you try to portray on here. Why do you spend so much time trying to find fault with me? Question of the day, of the year. You must either be attracted to me or something, because this is very bizarre behavior. I read what Don wrote on there. There was no such fucking conversation at all. I suppose you're going to say that I met Michael, the writer. I never met Michael. And as a correction, well, you know he's full of shit because uh, Michael, who was he wrote the movie and directed. He was only purchasing the rights to about 8 of my photographs, which he paid for, to use in a book called Staunch Character. He didn't buy my negatives. That's where Don fucked up. There's only one person who bought some of my negative collection. And the guy was a private individual. That's it. It's fake like his grill. Anyway, I got a video that's uploading. It might be on now. I attended on a lighter note, I attended the 2025 Sonolog Festival here in Bantayan. So you may want to take a look at that. I think it might be uploaded now. I do attend these events. This year I didn't walk through the whole parade because it was just crowded. It was kind of warm out. So I kind of did 20-something minutes or so of whatever highlights of it. So you could check up on my upload if it's actually, yeah. It's actually out there. It might be out there now. It takes a while to upload. I don't know, just like 27 minutes or so of this. I'm not sure what it was. But yeah, I went to the festival and had a hard time getting a ride back because all the all the trikes were, well, they couldn't go anywhere because the roads were blocked. I finally got myself a trike driver to get me back, thank goodness. But it was fun, but it's pretty much the same every year, Pretty much. You come here, come. It's pretty much the same. People making a lot of pesos and very devoted people on the festival. It's not something I would go to Cebu to attend. That's a definite no-no. No, I would never go. No, I would never go to Cebu Festival with that. That's plain crazy. Because everything is like shut down. They'll even shut down your cell phones. I mean, if they still do that. But nah, I've never been to a Sonolog Festival in Cebu. Just the local ones. Every year I've attended it. No, no. Uh, Her kids have it. They were at church. They're now doing work, God's work for the church. They're becoming altar boys or something. Yeah, no, they had it. And at the time, it wouldn't matter anyway because the roads were closed off and I had to wait for a while until it was toward the end of the parade. Um, I got this one guy, luckily, that took me back. I tipped him very nicely because I was getting kind of frustrated. I had bought some butter and along with some stuff, and I was starting to melt, and I figured I have to get home. No, it ain't broken. It's a good little machine, actually. It's coming really handy. The kids use it all the time. I don't bother with it, really. We do both. We take that, or we take the another tri-motor driver, and when we need him, a regular driver. But the kids are always using it to go to the beach, go here, to go to the church thing, to go to school, and all that. They're pretty much in control of it, which is the idea, because it was given to the older son, but the younger one, he knows how to ride it now, and he's not afraid. And he won't ride a bicycle yet, but he'll ride that. Yeah, Don, by the way, I'm going to tell you, Greg, you are a piece of shit, man. You actually are a piece of shit. Yeah. And I have no anger with the writer of the movie. That was bullshit. Complete bullshit. Yes, I did contribute to that. I would not have an IMBD credit if I didn't contribute. What would I get it for? It's under research assistant. That's exactly. Go see the end of HBO movie. Look it up. Go look at the credits on the ends in big letters. It hangs there for a while. It's under research assistant. No more, no less. I wasn't in the movie. I never went up to the set in Toronto. Never did that. Failure, Don. Complete failure on that one. And again, I'll repeat it again. Again. Unless Michael was posing to be some private individual, because the signature was not his. The person who bought my negatives, the collection, was a private person. It was not Mr. Michael. The only thing the writer of HBO movie did was just to purchase the one-time use rights of approximately, I believe, about 8 photographs, of which he would choose to use in his book or not. Now, whether he ever came out with a book, I don't know, because I tried checking it. And the only communication I've had with him, or made an effort to, is, hey, when your book coming out? That was it. No more and no less. Wasn't that you on a TV show? No. What would I be on a TV show for? Boy, you guys got your information all botched up. Oh yeah, it's getting good use. I would imagine you probably have to replace those batteries after a year. They don't last forever, you know. What do you expect from a, more likely it's a Chinese, you know, electric bike? A TV show? No, I've never been on a TV show. I did a documentary on Hawaii many, many years ago. And that was on a public broadcasting show throughout Hawaii and Honolulu and everywhere, you know. But no, I've never been on a TV show. Where'd you get that information? And the only thing related to that is through an agency, I tried to get on the last episode of Lost. But I didn't wind up going to, I forgot what they were doing. It was Maui or Oahu. And then it came through. She says, yeah, you want to be an extra on there. I didn't wind up going after all. And probably should have, because, well, it was the defining and last episode of Lost. That would have been kind of cool. No, there isn't any road restriction. You don't need a license for that at all. Nope. Tell us more about how administrative overstay works. Well, you better talk to Barry about that. After all, he says it's an administrative thing. Ask him. He's an expert on that. Other than that, I'm back. It's good to be back from the little soiree downtown. Couldn't find a trike to get back, but I did finally. No big issues on that, except my butter was melting, but, you know, it survived. Ginger, no. And not much to say. Except Don C is just full of just venom. He's just full of venom, this guy. I think he lives his life around me. What about his chick? Is he married to her? Is it his girlfriend? What's the situation with that? Does he ever spend any time with her at all? That's a good question. Because he's spending most of his time researching me or trying to find fault with me. You're pretty sick, Don, I gotta tell you. And you do look 80 years old, by the way. You absolutely do. He's supposed to be 2 years younger than me. You would never know it. You would never know it. If Michael wants to contact me, he could contact me anytime, the writer. And all Don C did, he did research on the movie, is all he did. He watched some of it, he looked at the credits, he looked at the 100,000 stories about Grey Gardens on there, and came up with his own conclusion. That's Don's own writing. Michael wouldn't have anything to say with me. We don't have any friction. If you want to call it friction, writing him in the past, how many years ago was that? 15 years ago? I don't know what the hell it was. I've asked him when his book was coming out. He never bought no negatives off me. That's where I caught Don in a lie. Don never bought, Michael never bought any negatives off me. It was a private individual who happened to be an attorney by profession, a collector, that got a certain amount of negatives off me pertaining to the pictures of Edith Bouvier-Beale. He's living in Thailand. Yeah. You really are a creep, Don. You know that? Now he goes into something about Roseanne Barr. Maybe I didn't complete look at that stuff. He's saying that I'm stalking Roseanne. Who else now? Put a list out there. I think you're confusing me with Brevis. I'm not a stalker. Why in the world would I stalk Roseanne Barr? Because I met her once at a book signing event in Hilo? Roseanne, I don't know if she still does. She used to have well, she has right now her own podcast of some sort. Very political, though. But she used to have another, what was it, on Twitter or it was on YouTube. She had many shows actually on social media. She wrote a book called Nuts on the Farm, I believe was the title of it. I had the book. And I got in line. I could tell you exactly what happened that day. It was a hot freaking day in Hawaii. It was toward the end of summer. She came downtown and she was doing a book signing for that book, and I believe it was called Nuts on the Farm. Because she owned a macadamia nut plantation. She had a home on there. She nicely fixed up the inside. And she had a big plantation. I forgot how many acres. Not an incredible amount, but there's enough acres. And she had macadamia nuts. Henceforth, kind of a pun on everything, nuts on the farm. And I met her at a book signing event. But it got so hot, I said, screw it, I'm not going to wait in line for that. So when they finally cleared up, I managed to come up to her, and I purposely knew she was going to be there. And I know she's a fan of Edith Beale. And I gave her a photograph of Edith Beale in a little frame. And she thanked me for it. That's about the end of it. Stalking her? I don't think so. No, she's got a long-term boyfriend. He's a musician guy, not a famous guy. And she spends her time between LA and Hawaii. And I'm assuming I have not seen anything much of her, but I assume that she's still living. It's about 50 miles from where I lived, up the Hamakua coastline, the eastern side of the island. Yeah, she goes back and forth to LA and back and forth there, so. But she has a nice farm out there, my understanding. I've never been there. I always wanted to check it out, but you just can't show up like, Brevis does. You can't do that. Well, Roseanne is kind of highly political, that's for sure. And I guess, I believe she's a Trump fan. A big surprise to me. Oh, well. Everybody has their choices. You trying to drain my brain here, Illuminar? I'm tired of talking about all this bullshit that Don's putting out there. But I caught him in a good lie because nobody, Michael Woozy Rider, he did not buy my negatives off me. Unless he went under an assumed name. But it wasn't him that bought the negatives off me. He purchased the rights to use on one time only for his upcoming book called Staunch Character. That's coming from me, not Don, okay? That's coming from me. He never bought my negatives. And if he went into an assumed name and did this, perhaps. Perhaps. The guy I dealt with was not Michael the writer. Totally different name than Michael. Okay, so bullshit, Don. Caught you in that one. My stories are great. No, they should be. All my exes live in Texas. Not really. I did meet a woman from Texas, though, and she would have been great to hang with. She was beautiful, but she broke up with a boyfriend, and I was actually in Alabama, if you want to believe that, on a bus stop, and I had met her, and she was coming out of a Styx concert in Texas, and I met her at a bus station, and she was going to go home to Electra. And if you don't, you'd think I'm bullshitting, look up Electra. It's a tiny little fucking town. You sneeze and you're gone. It's close to, what is it, close to Oklahoma. Electra. Beautiful chick, man. But she had just broken up with her boyfriend. Very interested in me and vice versa. Timing was bad. She later found out she was pregnant. I was in Alabama, of all places. Of all places, God forbid. And I was going to wait for my next bus, but I was thinking, if I could get a hold of her, I'll just go hightail myself over to Texas and meet up with her. So I called her on a phone, public phone, and she answered, and I was kind of surprised to hear from me because it's been a while. I said, hey, I'm in Alabama. I was in Alabama. What a yucky place, by the way. I said, look, I'm just traveling around on a Greyhound, man. I said, you know, you up to getting together? I'll just, you know, go the other direction, go to Texas. Well, Frank, you know, she had that twang. You remember the guy that I broke up with? Well, I'm pregnant with his baby. I said, really? I still would have met her, you know. I didn't know what the relationship situation was. She's pregnant from him, or she got back together. Then she said, yeah, it looks like I'm getting back together with him. What can I say? Well, good for you. I said, I'm here in Alabama. That's too bad. She would have been a really, 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 really. We spent a long time at the bus stop talking. She had her little kind of a Texas hat on, very stylish. She had a blouse with no bra. Beautiful, kind of a dark blonde hair. A smile as big as Texas. Yeah. Out of a lot of women I met at the time, she would have been a keeper for sure. Timing was just not right. Sometimes everything in life is timing, and the timing was just not right. Oh, she was. She was. I have a tiny little, I don't know what I did with it. It's like a little picture of her that she sent me. Big wide mouth, you know, bigger than Texas. Those big Texas smiles, you know. She was a hot one. But, you know, timing, it's timing. It's just like stupid things I've done. I could be in a supermarket, and whether it was Seattle or Hawaii, wherever it was, and I see some woman that is so extraordinarily attractive. There's something about me that instantly drew me to them and said, holy shit, is that chick for real? I mean, they were that good looking on several occasions. I was just too pussy to go and get the guts up to go say hello or something. But it's really hard. You know, you're in a line at the supermarket or something, you know, and, you know, she's doing a money exchange. She's putting in groceries there, and, you know, and then I had to wait till my turn. And maybe I could have caught the girl on the way out. Could have done that. But I didn't. She was gone. You got to take advantage of these moments because you'll never be able to have them again. I've come across this situation actually numerous times, and I just fucked up. You got to go for something. What's the worst that could happen? The woman could say no, not interested, or I have a boyfriend, or I'm married, or whatever it might be. Sometimes you actually have to go for it. And I was too timid, really, afraid of rejection or something, but just too timid. Then there's that thing about the one-liners, and I hated one-liners. I talk like a real person. That's how I talk. I don't have any one-liners like a lot of guys used to use on these chicks. And they're not stupid. They've heard all this stuff. If they're an attractive woman, they know they're attractive, man. They've heard every fucking line in the book. You know, that's why you gotta be original, or say something original. That's really hard in the spur of the moment. It's really very difficult. Say something to her that she hasn't heard before, to come up with something and get creative. But if you don't make the move, what's never going to happen? And this has happened to me actually countless times, really, when I think about it. Like I'd go out to the clubs, music, live music, and all this stuff, and you know, it was very hard for me. Although you think I'm very outspoken here on YouTube and I'm very social in that way, but it's not the total truth. And anytime I've been in a situation socially like that, unless the woman showed interest in me and I knew it, or she approached me, then that was a whole different story. I was hell on wheels. But prior to that, it was very difficult for me to just. I wasn't one of your typical fucking bar dudes, that, they go from table to table and hope to find some woman that's interested in them. I never did that. Guys used to do that and embarrass themselves most of the time. But unless you try, but if you just remain unassuming, they'll take interest to you. I guarantee you, because that happened to me. You know, if some chick, let me tell you, when you're in a club situation like that, if some woman is attracted to you, you'll know it. You might catch her looking at you. She might even approach you. Hi, my name is whatever. You'll know. Because you might catch her kind of looking your way with a smile. And that's happened many times. Use your magic tricks to break the ice. Well, that'll work. It's worked for a lot of people. I don't have any magic tricks. You have to ask Don. He's full of tricks. Just to settle on this matter, Don, you really are a piece of shit. You wrote that shit up. And what he did was he had to go research Grey Gardens. What's there to research? I got an IMBD credit on there under research assistant. Okay? That had to be a reason. They can't just throw my name on it, Don. Because obviously I contributed something to the making of that film. There were other research assistants too. I wasn't the only one. My contribution was very simple. Although it wasn't really simple because what I provided was something that was needed. If Michael says different, then he's lying. They could not find the original outfit, the tiger stripe combined with the leopard type print that she normally wore, which was known in the original documentary. I had those photographs that I took myself. I also had photographs that showed her near a very exquisite painting of her mom that was like painted like in the 1930s or something, or 40s. Through that, and you could transmit this to Michael, I don't care, Don. They had an artist recreate that portrait. So henceforth, what else would I have an IMBD credit for in a movie? Into that international movie database, Why? For what? I mean, logically, I'd have to have contributed something to this movie. Does that make sense? Oh, the naked girl in the mirror. How many guys had their fucking screenshotting that and got their goddamn underwear down to their ankles? No, that was an ex of mine. I did a little bit of photography, remember? Right, Dawn? Dawn knows that. Yes, Dawn. Dawn knows it all. But can you imagine the amount of time? I thought Popeye was bad and people like that, or Barry, but Dawn absolutely lives for me. He's supposed to have this hot Thailand chick or whatever the hell she is. I don't know if she's Thailand or Filipino. I just know that they're living in Thailand. But I only know one thing that for sure is that he spends more time researching me and making comments about me than just about anybody on YouTube. I could tell you that without any doubt. I don't know, man. Maybe he goes both ways for all I know. I have no idea. I don't know his background in regards to that. But it almost seemed that way. I suppose he's a straight guy, but, you wouldn't know it. The way he takes interest in me, it's just unfathomable. It's just something not right about that at all. But he does spend an incredible amount of time commenting. He knows every single time I'm doing a show. Like right now, he's listening. I'll guarantee. I don't care what time of the day or night it might be where he lives, but I'll guarantee you he's out there listening. Yeah, I know, Luminar. You think I don't know that? I haven't figured it out in a long time. He doesn't want to see anybody be happy, well, especially me. So, he spends the majority of his time when he could be spending it with his girlfriend or wife, whatever the hell she is. But no, I guess I take precedence over her, is what I've been able to figure out. That's sad. People live a retired life, and what the fuck are they doing, really, They're trying to research me. Well, it's a waste of fucking time. Now the issue, of course, is Grey Gardens. Grey Gardens, of all things. Because I introduced some photographs the other day depicting or showing the fact that, yeah, I did a lot of photography. And I enjoyed doing it. I didn't wind up as a profession doing it because I took a different direction in my life, but that's about it. I showed some photographs and, about the sum of it, really. A few magazines I had my pictures published in. It is an accomplishment. It's an accomplishment, which a lot of people don't have any accomplishments on here. I don't know what Don's accomplishments are. I know he's into some kind of IT crap or something. And probably a lot of AI, which explains a whole lot of shit, too. No, those statements were not written by the writer of the HBO Grey Gardens movie. Because that's where I caught him in a lie. Because he never bought any negatives off me. I would say it. He just bought the one-time rights for his book. And there were approximately, I think, 8 photographs of particularly Edith Bouvier-Beale. Whether he was going to use all of them or a few of them or one of them, I don't know, because I've never seen his book come out all these years. I've never seen it. And the only time I tried to stay in touch with him is, hey, man, when's your book out? I'd like to see what pictures you used in there, That was it. Never met the guy. Just got money from him. Oh, yeah, the mags. Oh, I don't know, they call it mag wheels or something, whatever. I wish I still had that. That actually was a very dependable car, too, but it ate up gas. It had a 350 V8 in there. But that sucker ate up gas, but it was too loud. I would have had to done something with the muffler or something, You knew I was around when that car was around, let's put it that way. Oh, Frank must be outside, my girlfriend at the time when I had that car, Suzanne. She knew when I was outside because, and, being like a very elite kind of high-class chick that she thought she was, it's like in a way, she was like kind of slumming it a little bit, being with me. Because I'm in this kind of like not an elite type of sports car, if you want to call it that. It wasn't even an SS, okay. But it was nice. But she got a big kick out of that, the engine was loud and She felt like she was like some kind of a bad boy. Some kind of a bad boy. Excuse me. Mag wheels, whatever, mags. I liked it. I got it for cheap too. God damn. God damn too. And I sold it. I'm not sure what I bought after that. I've owned a multitude of cars through the years. I had a 260Z, I had a Firebird, but that was a big mistake. I traded in a perfectly good car. Oh, it was a square-bodied car. What was this fucking car, man? It was a very, very dependable freaking car, and I was a real idiot to get because one of the people in the group I used to hang around with, she had an original 1976 T-Bird, not T-Bird. She had original that she bought. She's still alive. She still has it. She's in Mountain Lake Terrace over in Seattle, off the outside Seattle area. Still has it. Original everything. This was a Trans Am Firebird. Original, orange. The original decal. Oh, man. But, I had to be extra special. Oh, yeah, I think I'll get myself a Firebird, too. But that was a big-ass mistake. Because that thing, the minute I got it down the goddamn road from the dealership, they have lemon laws in the country, but no. Usually the used car lots, less specified, it's as is. That thing was almost starting to break down when I went down the road. I made a big fucking stink of. That I made a stink of because I needed but I did find somebody to buy it. They fixed it up. They were very happy. So we all wound up happy, and I bought another car. I don't remember what it is. I bought a 260Z, which is another bummer, excuse the expression, car because the chassis was so rusted. If I went down, I held it up again on an incline or something, that thing would have folded in half. Because I like the 260Zs, and I had to have like a little sporty type of car, But you got to investigate what the hell you're buying, really. Bring a mechanic. It's the best I can tell you. If you're not a mechanical person with cars, have what is it? Give $50 to somebody. It's not much money. Just give them the money and have them give a once-over on the car and saying, yeah, it's worth the price, or it's going to need this, it's going to need that. And believe me, if you do that, you're going to save a whole lot of money. You got to think, same thing with a Filipino, kick the tires a little bit. See what you're getting. And a lot of guys are making mistakes. And I made a few. Oh, javelin. Remember the old saying? I think a lot of the blacks like, oh, javelin. Did you ever hear that expression? Yeah, I remember the javelin. I don't remember what it looked like, but I remember there was a javelin car. And I don't know, this was like 60s, 70s or something. I used to always hear that expression, oh, javelin. Instead of, oh, damn, or whatever. It was, oh, javelin. Maybe there was a commercial or something on that, where that expression came from. I don't know. But I do remember that. Javelin, yeah. I don't think they were around long, were they? Hey, I even owned a fucking Peugeot. Yeah, in Seattle, I owned a Peugeot. I think that was the first, or that was the first car that I purchased, was a Peugeot. It's just a very odd-looking French car, But it ran. I wound up getting rid of that and getting another car. So I've had, I had about 3 different Jimmies, GMC Jimmies, and 2 GMC Jimmies. I've had 2 of them. I've had my truck, which was the Nissan SE. It was kind of lifted a little bit. It was really sporty though. It was a nice truck, but it was a project truck when I bought it. I knew it was a project truck. I mean, I put about $3,500 into it to get it on the road properly, and I bought it from a mechanic, and he knew what he had. He just didn't want to put his time and money to fix it. So I came there with cash in my hand, and I knew it was a project car. It ran and all that, but it had damage in the front. It was in an accident. It was in an accident once. So I had to buy replacement bumpers and you name it, headlights. Um, oh, was it the tie rod or something in there? I remember I had to replace a number of things on there actually. Brakes. I mean, there was a lot of shit I put into that, but I loved it. No, I don't have a car here. I don't want a car. Too old for that shit anyway, driving a car around. And I just don't want the responsibility of that. It's not that I don't trust myself as a driver, but, you know, something will definitely go happen. I mean, you know, it's not if you're going to ever get into an accident out here. It's, the question more is when. But especially on a motorbike. Nope. I've been a passenger on some motorbikes out here, but no. People tried to sell me them. I didn't want them. Do I know how to ride a motorcycle? Yes. Do I want one? No. Too many accidents happen with that. Barry? What was that car he wanted? Oh, yeah. Ford Raptor, yeah. His brother or somebody had a Ford Raptor they're going to sell him or something. Yeah, right. Yeah, Ford Raptor. Even the older ones go for big bucks. Oh, they're nice. I mean, the newer, you know, more contemporary models are beautiful. I've seen oh God, it was a color blue, shocking blue, chromed up and everything. It's just I'm not a Ford person, by the way, not really. I never owned a Mustang. Had an interest in Mustangs once, but I got played out on that. They got played out too, actually. Now, if you're talking about a Cobra GT or something, I mean, yeah, I mean that would be like, you know, well, you know, Fazio owned a Cobra GT, remember? Yeah, I think he said he owned a Cobra GT. Yeah, right. Barry, likely a van underneath the bridge. It's about his speed. Yeah, you're probably about right on that. If he ever gets back stateside, that is his likely outcome. Yeah, he'll use whatever money he's got left, and he'll buy an old van, and he'll use that as a residence and a form of local transportation.
Uh,
There's nothing wrong with that, really. There's a lot of people these days, but when they're forced to live in their vans, they can't afford to rent anywhere. Oh, I would have no problem living in a fucking van. As long as, you know, I could be somewhere where I could shower up and do things like that, wash clothes and so forth, you know. Van life is actually, it's a good life for some people, you know. Some people like to park in natural, you know, beautiful forests. They have parks where you could put your RV and different stuff like that. They have a water hookup, electric hookup, shit like that. Yeah, if I had to, I could live like that. I don't really need that much space on my own. If I'm on my own, that's a different story, you know. But yeah, a van, if it's nicely appointed inside, you got a comfortable little bed in there. You have a little bit of storage for, you know, mainstays. Well, there's canned food, and you have like a little sterno stove or something like that. Or, you know, maybe some kind of a composting toilet or something, you know. Yeah, you can get away with that. It's not a bad thing. Isn't, what's his name, Philip Janik, pretty much lives in a van? Philip Janik? Yeah, a few solar panels on the roof. Charge a battery, yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, really. If you're single and, you know, whatever your situation is, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I've seen so many goddamn feeds on Facebook of people living in their vans, and some people, they fixed them up really nice inside. This chick had one, and boy, she fixed up the inside of that like you wouldn't believe. Or she had kind of a, not a van, but a, what do you call, like a little motorhome or something, you know. And they fixed up the inside with pine walls and fantastic lighting and these little appliances, a small refrigerator. Yeah, you could live. You could live like that. As long as you got good security on your doors, you're gonna sleep at night, and you could worry about intruders or anything. Carry a fucking gun. You could live all right. I think you could probably do pretty good on that. Oh, Janik. Well, he's not my favorite person, but get into the times, get a fucking haircut. I don't know what he does with life. He just hangs around Vietnam and here and there, and I don't know. It's another Kevin in the making, actually, you know. That's what Kevin's going to have to do. Maybe Kevin should get a van somewhere and find a place in the forest. He doesn't have to pay any rent. Probably have to be a big van. Yeah, I don't think many people like Janik, really. He doesn't come across to me, you know, in a good way. I got bad vibes with that guy. Kind of a jerk. Comes on Kevin's show all the time. All he does, he's smoking his cigarettes and talking some mumble jumble about the cheapest places he could live over in, whether it's Cambodia or Thailand or something. That's all I ever really hear on there. He's not very exciting to listen to, basically. So if I decide to listen to a big Kevin show, I don't really go on there. If, you know, Janik's going to be on it, it's according with his guest. He's got this other guy on there that comes on here now, some jerk off. Say he's going to go to Switzerland or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. I don't really care. He's got some weird ass people that go on his show. Okay, other than that, well, why don't I sum this up? Keep in mind, Donnie boy, you don't get a credit on a movie unless you have contributed somehow, some way. That's the bottom line. And you can make up story after story after story. And I know who I sold my negative collection to, okay? I know who I sold my negative. I know how much I made off it. And the guy you're talking about did not buy my negatives. Unless he swindled me. But he did not buy my negatives. He just bought the rights to use certain photographs in a book that he was proposing. That's it. There's nothing much more to the story except what I said. Why do I have an IMBD credit? It's very simple, Donnie. Just listen very carefully. I had to contribute some way. Right? Now, you don't have a credit on a movie. And I already said what I contributed. It had to do with my photographs. And what they used them for. One being for the costume designer, as I found out actually later on. They had to find an authentic outfit, and the original outfit was not in possession of the crew for that movie, of the writer, the producer, director. Couldn't get certain things from the relatives. Again, a portrait on the wall of Edith's mom, which also was something they couldn't get their hands on. So they had to recreate it. And how did they recreate it, Donnie boy? They used one of the photographs that I took inside the house where the painting was there. And they had an artist recreate it. Why don't you ask Michael about that, Donnie? All right, that's all for today, guys. I got an upload on the, should be ready on there now. I got an upload on the 2025 Sonolog festivities in Santa Fe, Bantine Island. Check it out. And Don, get your information straight. Secondly, Christ almighty, get a fucking life, man. You must be attracted to me or something. But it's really starting to come off on a lot of people on here that maybe that's the case. I don't know. Is it? Because all you do is spend your time criticizing every single thing I say on my show, trying to discredit me on something. There's nothing to discredit me when it comes to the Grey Gardens movie. There's nothing at all. And there's a Synolog sound in the background. Got any questions, Don? Please feel free to ask me. But you made a fool of yourself. You made up that shit. Because Michael would not have said that. At all. At all, Donnie.